Imagine this. Your life completely shatters the day you receive a single mysterious package containing a pocket watch. Well, that's exactly how our story begins today in this explainer. We're tracing the incredibly cinematic, absolutely brutal journey of Yan Wu. He's an ex-Special Forces soldier who steps into a deadly, magical dimension known as the God's Tower. But here's the thing. He's not doing it for glory, and he's sure not doing it for power. He is there for pure, unadulterated revenge. The sheer scale of his journey, his tactical genius, and the emotional weight of his quest make this one of the most gripping narratives we've ever covered. So everything kicks off with this incredibly somber diary entry played right out of that magical pocket watch. Now, the watch originally belonged to his missing brother, who ventured into the tower years ago hoping to find a miraculous elixir to cure their sick mother. But instead, as the diary reveals, his brother was brutally betrayed. His own clan turned on him, and the very woman he loved literally stabbed him in the heart, leaving him to rot. This tragic revelation is the ultimate emotional catalyst. Yunwoo isn't just a grieving brother. He's a highly trained soldier who has just been given a target. Okay, let's dive into this. Floor 0. The entrance to the tower, also known as the tutorial. Yunwoo steps through the portal and instantly sheds his past identity, taking on the moniker Cain, the masked demon. Now, Floor 0 isn't just your basic training ground, it's a ruthless filtering system where only the absolute strongest survive. But what makes Yunwoo's ascent so fascinating is that he doesn't just survive the tutorial, he absolutely breaks its mechanics from the inside out. And this brilliantly illustrates the core difference between the two siblings. His brother was tragically trusting and empathetic, traits that got him killed in a world ruled by power. Yunwoo, on the other hand, enters the tower with a literal system skill called cold-blooded. It allows him to remain unrealistically logical in literally any situation. He cannot be brainwashed, he doesn't panic, and he views every single obstacle as a tactical puzzle just waiting to be dismantled. He is the perfect anti-hero for this environment. Section 1. Breaking the tutorial. So, Yanwu doesn't approach the tower like your traditional fantasy hero. He approaches it like a military tactician. To him, the tutorial is a farming ground to exploit. Just look at his brilliant aura farming strategy. The tutorial fires elemental arrows at players. Most people run, right? But Yanwu realizes that dodging blue arrows boosts his agility, and intentionally letting himself get hit by yellow arrows boosts his endurance and pain resistance. He willingly takes damage just to farm stats. But here is the genius part. He finds a hidden merchant selling a reset ticket that nobody else buys because it wipes your stats. Yanwu buys 10 of them. He grinds his stats to the max, resets them, and grinds them all over again. He's essentially multiplying his baseline potential far beyond what the tower's creators ever intended. The reward he reaps from all this calculated grinding is immense. Deep in a hidden dungeon, he uses explosives to tactically blow up an entire blue ant colony, including its massive queen, just to access the sanctuary of the vampire monarch. Here, he claims the vampiric dagger, and to unlock its true power, he literally stabs his own hand to break its seal. It's a true rank 66 weapon that drains an enemy's life force and devours their soul, feeding it directly back to him. Honestly, it's a total game changer. But Yunwoo isn't just fighting monsters out here, he's dismantling corrupt power structures. He discovers that a high-ranking player named Arendon is secretly running human farms, literally luring weak players into traps to use their bodies and souls as alchemy materials. Yunwoo ruthlessly slaughters Arendon's entire operation. And if that wasn't enough, in the final seconds of the tutorial, he merges thousands of stolen tokens and snatches the rank 1 position right out from under the powerful royal siblings of the Horn tribe, Fonte and Adora. He leaves the entire player base in absolute shock. He clears the tutorial with a completely insane 500,000 karma points. To put that into perspective for you, top players usually celebrate getting 50,000. Yunwoo achieves the highest score in tutorial history. He's essentially a god-tier rookie before he even officially enters the inner tower. Moving right along to Section 2, Ascending the God's Tower. Before his ascent, he seeks out Hinova, a legendary, kind of grumpy dwarf blacksmith who actually acted as a father figure to his late brother. With top-tier customized gear secured, Yunwoo begins his speed run. And he doesn't just clear the early floors, he obliterates them. He clears floor 7 in just 12 hours. By floor 10, a place where time itself doesn't exist and where most players just flat out fail, he smashes the clearing record by an astonishing 83 hours. The bittersweet part, though, the record he's breaking belonged to his own late brother. Because of his impossible clear times, he earns an audience with the god Hermes in the Olympus treasury. The loot he claims here is legendary. We're talking Zeus's key, the Iblis embryo, and most crucially, a mysterious artifact that even his brother's diary never mentioned, the Black King's Bracelet. This artifact radiates a terrifying, dark power that allows him to command the souls of those he kills. It is a massive turning point in his arsenal. Section 3. Awakening the Dragon Body. To evolve his physical form, Yunwoo enters the infamous 11th floor, which is this crazy dream world of physical and mental trials. Here, he realizes he relies way too heavily on his eyes. So what does he do? He completely shuts down his physical senses and trains entirely blind. By pushing his awareness to the absolute limit, he awakens an extrasensory perception. It's a supreme skill that lets him feel waves of energy, basically bridging the physical and spiritual realms. This brutal, sensory-deprived training is what finally allows him to awaken his inner monster, achieving a 100% dragon body succession. At this point, he is no longer just human. Section 4. Waging a Divine War. Following the violent death of the Summer Queen, who was the last dragon of the tower, the whole place descends into a raging civil war, and Yunwoo places himself right in the dead center of the carnage. On the icy floors, he unleashes a blazing hell to annihilate the massive ice serpent Abos. Then he faces the River of the Dead. It's a toxic, corrosive body of water that destroys normal ships. Yunwoo's solution? He actually conquers a tribe of cannibals and forces them to build a boat made from their own dark materials, navigating the treacherous waters while commanding an undead crew. It is as dark as it is brilliant. Now, up in the heavenly realms, the deities are watching this mortal just tear through their domains. So the crucial point here is how the gods react. He makes a deadly, furious enemy out of Poseidon after repeatedly slaughtering the sea god's apostles. But at the same time, his sheer audacity earns him a crucial, dark alliance with Hades in the depths of Tartarus. Hades blesses him, essentially enlisting him in an underworld war against the trapped Titans. Which brings us to Section 5, the ultimate vengeance. This all spirals toward Floor 34, a brutal mirror test designed to make players question their very humanity. Faced with thousands of identical reflections, all claiming to be the real him, a normal person would try to reason with them, right? Try to find the truth through logic. Yunwoo, he simply draws his blade. He ruthlessly slaughters thousands of his own reflections, actively carving away his own humanity and empathy to isolate his true, cold-blooded self. It is a haunting display of his relentless nature, but it's exactly what allows him to clear the floor and finally complete the Black King's artifact set. Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought. Yunwoo has gained the power of gods, dragons, and demons. He has an army of souls at his command and the backing of Hades himself. But as he marches toward the architects of his brother's murder, we have to ask, will his thirst for revenge completely consume whatever humanity he has left? Or is this dark path the only way he can finally bring his brother back from the dead? It's a phenomenal story of tactical brilliance and deep sacrifice. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you on the next climb.